These are a bunch of Lego Christmas minifigures I bought to remake some of my favorite holiday movies, and hopefully combine them all together in the end to build a massive winter village. For some reason, almost half of the Series 23 collectible minifigures are Christmas themed, and we're kind of running out of time to finish our Lego city called 23ville before Series 24 releases. So we're just doing 5 figures in one episode: the Snowman, Fairy, Reindeer, Elf, and Nutcracker. Some of these have more obvious movie tie-ins than others, but I'll do my best to recreate as many as I can, starting with one of my favorites, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This reindeer figure doesn't have a red nose and also is not Rudolph, seeing how she's a girl, who the comics named Ruby. Still has antlers though, for some reason. But the film has a great message that everyone, no matter how different, has something to offer. So I built some of the so-called misfit characters from it, like Hermie, the elf who wanted to be a dentist, Yukon Cornelius, the peppermint miner with all his many sleigh dogs, and a skinny Santa. I've always thought it was weird how Santa lives in a massive castle in the movie, but makes his reindeer raise their children in just like a cave. So I want to build Ruby and these other Lego reindeer some nice heated stables to live in instead. I started with this gray brick foundation. It looks like a mess right now, but all these snot bricks are to add tiles to the side that make the bricks look three-dimensional. I left this hole in the wall for a Lego light brick I built into a furnace to keep the stable nice and warm. We'll have to find a way to cover up the ugly backside, of course, but for now, here's an interesting design for a fence that we can build pillars up from to create a frame of support for the roof, with these wooden overhangs on the side and a ridge on the top. There was a big snowstorm in the movie, so adding some white pieces on the roof makes it look all festive. I love how it's hanging over the sides like this. The main stable area fits 2, maybe 3 reindeer comfortably. Their antlers kind of tangled together, but on this side for Ruby, even though she looks different than the other reindeer, Santa recognizes that she's perfect for the job of shoveling manure? What? Come on, Santa! I mean, you can still push this to turn the furnace on. I guess that's kind of cool. But the herd just recently took her in as one of their own. She still has to prove herself as a real reindeer in the Reindeer games. After some intense training, the Christmas caribou compete in a variety of challenges to see who gets to pull Santa's sleigh this year, which takes off from this runway I made using a sideways building technique. The top scorer wins a whole barrel of carrots. They wanted a carrot vending machine, but that wasn't in the budget this year because the loser gets fed to the Bumble, and its whole area back here has a lot of maintenance costs. Long story short, Ruby is quite literally playing for her life. So let the games begin. While they start round 1, we're gonna play a game of Guess the Christmas Song. Comment your answer below. But now it's Ruby's turn. Okay, she's gonna have to do a lot better than that to impress the elf judge Ralphie in the next few rounds. We've also got Twinkle here directing air traffic and Gustavo taming the Bumble, which brings us to our next CMF, a delightful little elf that our channel members named Eve. Her cool little snow globe reminds me of one from a movie literally called Elf, so let's build that in Lego. We've got Buddy the elf here with a hat I stole from a sad clown and painted to match his iconic look. And here's his Papa elf, basically just an older and shorter version of him. I want to build them Santa's workshop from the movie, where all the elves build and test the toys. Gets me every time. But I gave the workshop a tan foundation and started building the walls out of various different shades of red and green, where I finally found a use for these green shutter pieces and the red window frames that hold them. On the inside of this removable wall, I installed these 2 tables for all the elves to work at. Aside from the jump scares and etch-a-sketches for the movie, these guys also make toy knights, dragons, animals, and nutcrackers, along with snow globes, of course. I attempted to make a life-size version of the one from Elf using this ball thing from a Jurassic Park set, but it's kind of awful. Like, all the snow gets stuck at the bottom here. But whatever, this is what Papa Elf gives Buddy to hopefully find his dad in New York City, where he plays Frogger IRL, eats spaghetti, and goes to a department store where he meets some lady elf and her manager. I was always impressed how Buddy built an entire Lego city in one night. He's making us look bad here. But then fake Santa just decimates the thing, and it's the one part of the movie where I'm not laughing. Like, imagine just going like, I would cry. But other than that part, Elf is hilarious. Drop your favorite quote in the comments. So that's all there is to know about Buddy, but we've also got Dingle the engineer, Chadley the welder, Jimbo the painter, who gets extremely nervous when Santa sits right next to him on his throne and just watches his every move. Obviously there's Eve, who's definitely not hiding anything, Foreman Cuddles, barking orders at everyone, and Ralphie again. For round 2, he had the reindeer lift the heaviest thing they could, and Ruby is falling dangerously behind. But back inside, I added this fireplace next to a table with some hot cocoa and cookies for the elves to enjoy on their break time every other month. Then in this back area, above all these random boxes, I built this elevated platform called the Shelf. And this is where Santa made the biggest mistake of his life. Earlier this year, he had Dingle program a computer virus to spy on people around the world through their device's webcams to see who to put on the nice list or the naughty list. Totally not creepy. But the virus grew more and more powerful each passing day, eventually manifesting into a physical form known as the Elf on the shelf. Since then, it's been ominously watching from the background, acting to trap as many outsiders as possible in the confines of the city, study their every move, and waiting to execute its final plan. The only way to shut it down, according to the very specific kill switch Dingle wrote into the code, is by getting this channel more subscribers than the official Elf on the Shelf channel. So if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. Thank you. Anyways, what were we talking about again? Elf, that's right. I finished up the second layer of the workshop's walls and decided there was still room for Buddy, Papa Elf, and Hermie in here. We're not gonna finish the roof quite yet because I actually want to add another floor to this later. It's getting a little cramped in here, and Buddy is starting to annoy everyone with the story of how he traveled through the 7 layers of the candy cane forest and so on. But I actually want to build a candy cane forest over here after another Guess the Christmas song for the Sugar Fairy minifigure, who quite a few of you wanted to name Susie for some reason. She comes with an amazing new candy cane piece, which will be layer 1 of our forest. Layer 2 consists of these piles of powdered sugar snow Susie loves to make snow people out of. Do you want to talk about layer 3? It's a path made of all sorts of cookies and breadcrumbs leading up to Susie's home, a quaint little gingerbread house, modeled after the one in Eve's snow globe. The entire thing is edible, with a gumdrop bed and red licorice wiring to power an oven, piping ice cream smoke out the chimney. I considered making this all out of Lego candy so it would actually be edible, but that plan fell apart pretty quickly. But at least with normal Lego, we can add a lot more detail, like these dollops of frosting just using flour pieces. Learned that technique from Easy Bricks. We're definitely counting this whole thing as layer 4, and I tried making custom snowy trees for layer 5, was not successful, so the pre-molded pine tree pieces will have to do. I think they're mint flavored. Layer 6 has these medium-sized candy canes that Yukon keeps trying to excavate, and finally layer 7, where these macaroni pieces gave the perfect shape to the largest candy canes in the forest. I realized that none of that had literally anything to do with a Christmas movie, so to make up for that, I'm gonna build as many Christmas movies as I can think of in 30 seconds. We've got the Grinch and his dog Max, the Polar Express, the Santa Claus, Christmas Story with the leg lamp, Shrek the Halls, and I was financially responsible for once and did not impulse buy the Home Alone set, so I made my own figures with a micro version of the home. But then there's the Muppets Christmas Carol, Nightmare Before Christmas, every Hallmark movie ever, and one of my favorites, A Charlie Brown Christmas. The little tree they got is pretty pathetic, so I took this one from the Elf Clubhouse set and made it taller, getting rid of these ugly colored ornaments and replacing them with currency from Lego video games as the ultimate flex. Go ahead and guess these 2 Christmas songs and how much money this would be worth in-game. We'll put it in the center of our growing Christmas village, surrounded by an icy blue path that connects all the different areas together really well. For the 3rd round of the reindeer games, they all have to race along the path. And although they all kept falling over at the start, Ruby realized her unique ability to wear ice skates helped her finally to win a round. She might actually have a chance now. Before we get to whatever Susie is doing to that snowman, I wanted to build a nativity scene over here with shepherds, animals, angels, Mary, Joseph, and of course, baby Jesus lying in a manger. We've also got the wise men bringing him gifts of gold, myrrh, and frankincense. And while getting presents like this at Christmas is fun, and all the movies and music the holiday inspires, it's really easy to forget that this little baby is the real reason for the season. Everyone has different reasons for celebrating this time of year, but for me, it's always gonna be about Jesus coming to die and save me from my sins. So I'm glad I was able to build this joyous event in Lego. But now, do you want to build the next house? I don't know where Susie's snowman went, but here's a living snowman now. Probably my favorite figure of the series that our brand new Discord server named Manny. He reminds me a lot of the Frosty the Snowman movie, another classic. And while I almost built him a sculpture garden straight out of Calvin and Hobbes, I really want to build a snowman, if you can't tell. So I went outside and rolled up 3 balls of snow, basically just different sizes of a simple Lego sphere. Finding a way to combine them was a little dicey, but the result is literally one of the coolest things I've ever built. I also made this classic top hat, and when I placed it on its head, nothing. But to make it look more like Manny, I gave it a scarf and arms to hold a broomstick in his hand, a corncob pipe, he's a chain smoker, a button nose, and 2 eyes made out of coal. Actually, the button seems a bit out of place. Let's do a carrot nose instead that the reindeer would really like to take a bite out of, but they're too busy with round 4. Manny rolled up a bunch of snowballs that Buddy is going to throw at the herd. Last one standing wins the round. And because Ruby is a smaller target, she got her 2nd win in a row. There's only 1 round left now, and 1 final minifigure, the Nutcracker. I really love this new hat piece, and one of our Instagram followers named him Chester. His name is Chester. There are a few terrible Nutcracker movies out there, but the ballet is really where it's at. I was gonna make a giant Nutcracker to recreate some scenes from it, but we can't just keep making larger versions of all the figures. So I added a 2nd floor to Santa's workshop for Chester instead. A dinner theater where you can duke it out against the Mouse King, being cheered on by an audience of elves. They're sitting at these tables where Papa Elf serves them freshly cracked walnuts, peanuts, pineapple smells, grapes, melons, oranges, and coconut shells. Oh yeah! Sorry. I gave this floor some final touches, and now our winter village is looking great. What happened here? With all this snow on the ground, Santa can't leave to deliver Christmas presents. So he decided that the final round of the reindeer games should be cleaning it all up. Great climax, Santa, just making them do your chores. Whatever, a big crowd showed up to watch, and Ruby realized she's been preparing for this moment her whole life. She cleaned the floor with the competition and saved herself from a bumbly demise. Sorry, Vixen. But now she gets to pull the sleigh for Santa. Santa?